Come back to your calls about the Prime Minister, his attempts to try and persuade you that, well, the past sort of exists, kind of exists, but doesn't really. Hassan's in Slough. Hi, Hassan.
Hi, Tom. It was a very good interview, actually. So I was very surprised with some of your callers who said it was all waffle and very uncomfortable. It wasn't. I think some very clear policies were mentioned during your interview with him. So, the smoking thing is something quite significant, actually. A big change. In inflation he was talking about, I hope he does reach that target. The people trafficking, which is very important because they're the ones who are exploiting migrants when lives have been lost, and the HS2. What is disappointing is Labour's relative silence. I mean, they will criticise, but they have not, come up with alternative policies to these. So, and we're quite close to him.
Yeah, they're going to have their conference shortly. There's a lot to talk about Labour's current position on HS2. I think Starmer has said that the whole thing should be repealed, and now says that he can't guarantee that he would build that HS2 spur route. So we'll come to Labour in a bit. But Hassan, you're clearly, sounds like, willing to give him time in order to show you that he can do the things he says he can do.
Absolutely. He's only been in the job for 1 year. I did vote for him last year, and thank God I did, rather than Liz Truss. When people talk about, oh, look, you've been in power for 13 years, he was not Prime Minister for 13 years. He's Prime Minister now. He's making the changes. And
but this is the point I made to him, Hassan. This is why we elect parties, and I think it's quite hard to persuade people to just put to one side the things that they don't like that happened under the Conservatives, the things that have made a genuine impact on their lives that have happened under the Conservative governments, and to think, oh, OK, it's a different kind of Conservative, or it's Rishi Sunak now, not David Cameron, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss.
Yeah, and so all I can say to that is let's give him a chance to see if he is different. I believe he is. There's some bold announcements he made. And the really interesting question you asked him right at the end is, can someone drive a Rolls-Royce and be working class? The answer is yes. People can come from working class backgrounds like Alan Sugar did, and proudly and become prosperous. And I think, for me, it's my final point, it's the clear blue water between Conservatism and Labour, because I'm not an MP yet, but...
I see, but you're on the path. I can see you almost thumb-jabbing the points as you're making them, Hassan, in that awful way that MPs do.
No, I apologise if it sounds like that, but... Conservatism and why I became a conservative in 1992, so over 30 years, is because the clear blue water between us and Labour is Conservatives focused on prosperity and focusing on developing poor people to prosper, which Labour doesn't. And with policies like...
I think a lot of people listening, Hassan, would feel, if they were asked, have you become richer or poorer whilst the Conservatives have been in office, I'm afraid there's only going to be one answer for an awful lot of people. Hassan, thank you for the call. You're listening to Tom Swarbrick.